Sometimes I cry when I think about it. Because I remember when I started, I didn't have any money. I had to beg my friends to provide food for our students. And I just had to hustle. I mean, I had to work 3 jobs to run this program. But to see when I started with the first 17 students and what I'm doing now is like a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dream come true that I got an opportunity to help inner city young kids learn the game of golf, but not only that, get them in college, keep them in college, and then go to their weddings and baby showers and all their success stories that I'm a part of. That is something.
My working professionals, creators, entrepreneurs, I need y'all to tap in. Listen, if you're tired of fighting distractions at home or bouncing around from coffee shop to coffee shop, then Bamboo has exactly what you need to be able to lock in and get your work done. In addition to having flexible meeting rooms and event space, they've got a community that actually supports you while you're in the building. So if you're ready to lock in some space right now, guess what? I got you. If you head over to bamboocowork.com right now and use the promo code BlackFriday20, you'll get 20% off any of your rental bookings. Don't waste any more time. Head over to bamboocowork.com and take care of that. Use that promo code. I'll be seeing you at a Bamboo location sometime soon. Now, let's go ahead and get back into the episode. What up, though, Black Fridays family? Welcome back to another installment of the Black Fridays podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I need you to hit that like button, subscribe, drop a comment, send some videos to family, friends, and loved ones so that we keep this thing going. All right, now that I got that business out of the way, this is a very, 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 very special episode of the podcast because I literally got family in the building. Somebody who is the president and CEO, or you the founder and CEO, right?
Founder and CEO.
Somebody who is the founder and CEO of a program that is near and dear to my heart, College, Career, and Beyond, affectionately known as the Midnight Golf Program. None other than Miss Renee Fluker. How you doing today?
Hey, Denzel.
How's it going?
Great.
Good to see you.
Good
Where you been
seeing
hiding at?
Doing work. Getting ready for the next class that started in September.
Exactly. Yeah. Always working, always on the grind. So for the people who haven't been exposed to College, Career, Beyond, Midnight Golf Program, could you just give us a little bit of knowledge about what the program is about, and then I'm gonna give my perspective of the program.
Okay. Well, Midnight Golf started 25 years this year. We celebrated 25 years February 12th. And when I started this program, I really didn't want to start. I'll be honest with you. My son, Jason, wanted for me to come back and teach kids golf. Well, I was not a golfer 25 years ago. I just started playing golf in 2005. So 20 years now. But I didn't know how to play golf. And he said it was so important that young Black kids need to learn to play the game of golf because it was very few besides Tiger Woods. So it started that way, but I was getting ready to retire from the state of Michigan, do my thing, hang out, find me a husband. And the thing turned all the way around and Midnight Golf got started.
So you mentioned 25 years of Midnight Golf starting back in 2001. How does it feel just even thinking about, like, man, that journey started 25 years ago?
Sometimes I cry when I think about it. Because I remember when I started, I didn't have any money. I had to beg my friends to provide food for our students. And I just had to hustle. I mean, I had to work 3 jobs to run this program. But to see when I started with the first 17 students and what I'm doing now is like a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dream come true that I got an opportunity to help inner city young kids learn the game of golf, but not only that, get them in college, keep them in college, and then go to their weddings and baby showers and all their success stories that I'm a part of. That is something. It's amazing that one person and, a team of people can get out here and work with our young people and to see what they can do and how they accomplish what they want to do.
Exactly. And now you're getting a chance to be able to celebrate those 25 years, having a star-studded event David Allen Greer going to host the event, the gala that's coming up on April 30th. Could you tell us more about that 25-year celebration and what people should expect if they get a chance to come out?
Well, right now we sold out of tickets.
Okay.
We're at 450 tickets. We're trying to get to 500 to see if the department downtown Hudson, that's the old Hudson building, now is the new facility, if they will expand the room so we can get more people. We have a wait list of folks trying to get to this event. The event's going to start off with Carolyn Clifford from Channel 7 is going to introduce David Allen Greer. And then the program will start. We're going to have an auction, a live auction, some wonderful trips, wonderful food. We got an opportunity to see some of our older alums are coming. I mean, they're married and they got careers. They're coming back. They want to get back. We got students coming from out of town. We got folks coming in from out of town. We got a man that's the senior vice president from the Golf Channel is coming. So we're excited about the people that are coming. I mean, if you're interested, we do have a wait list. We still have some more sponsorships available that we would love to, sell. All those proceeds and that money is going to the class of 2026 and 2027. Every penny of that money is going for that class. It costs a lot of money to run this program. It's about $300,000 just the run programming. That's just programming. So we're trying to do our college tour. That's a part of it. So all that money we raise is to do 2026 for that class, which we will probably have about 275 students, 300 at the most. 300.
Now, when I was in the program, it was like, how many students? 150 maybe?
How many buses did we have on the college tour?
3.
Okay, yeah. I remember when we started a college tour in 2005, we had 1 bus. Now we're up to 6 buses. Denzel, you were in the program for 2 years. A lot of people didn't have that opportunity like you had. You special. You special. You always say, I'm Miss Renee's favorite. And everybody gets mad when Denzel said, I'm Miss Renee's favorite. He get everybody at the party all upset. I'm Miss Renee's favorite.
I mean, the truth hurts sometimes.
And they get upset about it.
Yeah.
They get upset about it.
It is what it is. So in terms of the goal for the money that's going to be raised for the class of 27 and the class of 26, the goal is $1.2 million to raise for this particular event. So 2-part question. Number one, why are kids so expensive? But the more serious question is, why is it important to make that investment into our young people? Well, one, as you know, we have dinner every night. I have 2 cohorts, a Monday, Wednesday, and a Tuesday, Thursday. We have dinner every night, not like pizza or hot dogs or snacks. We have a full course dinner. My dinner on an average night can run $11 a person, which is cheap compared to what it could cost. So we pay like $30,000 a month for food, and we got a discount because a Midnight Golf alum runs that company, so she gives us a discount. We also include the college tour. Each young person get a brand new set of golf clubs. Those golf clubs run about $280 a set. The buses on this tour is $95,000. So all that money, clothing, food, all that is expensive. Plus, we got this new building. If we didn't have this building, it wouldn't be as high as it is. But we don't have a mortgage, but we still have the upkeep of this building. And we're also in the process of trying to complete our endowment. We have a grant with the Children's Foundation, and we're just short of $136,000 that we need to complete our endowment, which we have $1.5 million. But in an endowment, you don't see all that money. You only get the interest per year from that endowment. So we got a lot of stuff going on. We got to pay staff. We have staff. So our money is going towards the building, the students, the food, and the college tour. Yeah, you got to keep this thing going. Got to keep it going. Yeah, especially in the economy, society that we live in. And a lot of our grants are being cut. Yeah. It's hard to get grants. It's hard to get family foundations again. 1 minute we was getting grants like crazy. Then it stops. I don't know what's going on, but not only Midnight Golf is having issues with grants. A lot of the nonprofits in Detroit, they're having problems with, raising money and getting grants. During that, given that, how do you pivot? How do you make the transition to say, like you said, at one point in time, you couldn't get enough grants, like they were just showing up to your doorstep. But now, when it slows down, how do you all make that pivot?
Well, it's all about relationships and who you're in relationship with. You know, like I know somebody maybe at Bank of America, okay, and they see we're doing great work. They will continue to fund us. But what happens when Ally pulls out? You know, we're not interested in what you guys are doing right now, but we may come back. So we have people that put you on hold, say they might come back. They might tell you, give me a couple of months, we may get back with you. Those are some of the things that we're running into with grants. But again, we're begging our alums. A lot of our alums got great jobs, excellent jobs, and they have been making donations. We have one Midnight Golf alum who just gave $5,000. So we got some alums that making money that can help. We're getting ready to start talking to the alums, the professional alums. Like, we want to start something and we want you to give back. Maybe the alums can come and put their name somewhere on this building if they give back.
That'd be amazing.
We're looking at all those different things. And before I retire and leave, that's my goal, is to get that professional Midnight Golf alum. We're not calling it College Career Beyond. We're going to call it Midnight Golf Professional Alumni.
So, Ms. Renee, I'm going to take a pause in the questions for a moment to introduce you to my favorite part of Black Fridays, which is Freestyle Fridays. So, I hope you know how to rap.
Rap? I don't know, Denzel.
I mean, hey, you around young people all day long. You like hip hop?
I like hip hop.
Yeah, so we go ahead. You can sing, you can dance.
You know who's my favorite is Bruno Mars.
Really? You like Bruno Mars?
I hope I can go to that concert. Somebody listen to me. I hope you can give me some tickets to go see Bruno Mars. Matter of fact, I am donating my 2 tickets and a suite at the event.
Okay. All right. So yeah, make sure that y'all tap. First of all, we got to get Miss Renee some more tickets to see Bruno Mars, but also make sure that you tap into the event so that you can get those tickets to that suite. Because I know that's going to be a dope setup. But Freestyle Friday, since you don't want to rap, Freestyle Fridays, I'm going to just do a random assortment of questions, and I just need you to answer each one.
Okay.
All right. So I know you love to get on a plane and travel. You don't really stay still. So what's your favorite place to go?
Cabo.
Really?
Cabo, Mexico.
You always down in Latin America, Mexico, somewhere around there?
I love that. I love going to Italy, Paris, London. Remember, I went on a sabbatical, and I started with Brazil, and from Brazil I went to Cuba, and from Cuba, Paris, London, Italy, Pompeii, all over.
Okay. What's your most memorable golf experience or golf outing?
That's a good question. I like all my golf outings.
Okay.
I really like all. My favorite one was when I first started playing golf. And we played at Mary Grove, had a golf outing with the nuns. Remember at that time they had the nuns?
Yeah.
And so they played a joke where they took an egg carton and put golf balls in it. And whoever they found out was cheating, they gave you the egg carton. So the guy I was playing with was cheating. And so I said, why are you getting the egg carton? And the nun said, because he cheated. So that was so much fun to hear that. So that was a great time playing at the Mary Grove golf outing.
Okay. And you work with young people all day long, high school seniors primarily. And then when I was in the program, I did the junior and the senior. But what kind of student were you in high school? Were you popular? Were you nerdy? Were you shy? Were you outspoken? Like, who was Miss Renee in high school?
And I was not Miss Renee in high school. I was so shy. I was so surprised that I was on the court as a homecoming queen. And at that time, we used to be in the cars with a convertible, and I was part of this car, being a part of the court. And I was so quiet. All I wanted to do was just be quiet and learn and sew. I love to sew in the day, and I had my own sewing machine. But what got me out of that is when I started working for the state of Michigan. And I had to do presentations and go places. And I was begging people for money then because we were doing programs that the state of Michigan one time didn't have no money. We had payless paydays. So that took me out of my comfort zone working for the state of Michigan.
Okay. And we're gonna dive more into that too also. And I would love to know what's something that a young person has taught you from Midnight Golf. What's a memorable lesson that you learned from the young people?
Hairstyles. Hairstyles, braiding hair, and how they like to do my hair. The hairstyles, I mean, that sounds weird, but to see them braid my hair and come to my home and sit there for all day and put braids in your hair and talk and listen to what they want to do and where they want to go, that's amazing that I can be with somebody for 8 hours and you braid my hair and you putting all these extensions and then they come over and they want to do the makeup just to see what they want. They got in mind that they think I should be doing. How they change a lot of like my hairstyle now. A Midnight Golf person did it.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
And that's where you go to regularly, right?
No.
Or here and there? Okay.
Here and there.
Okay. And then, do you remember your first job or your most random job that you ever had?
I remember my first job. I had several jobs, but before I started working for the state, I worked at MBD. And everybody who was somebody in the city of Detroit at that time, that was a job to have to work at banks. Banks was the thing. You could rise up to the president, like Mr. Curry. It was the president of his bank. But my thing was working for the state of Michigan. I worked 35 years, and I started off as a clerk. And I remember the state of Michigan paid my tuition to go to school and get my degree. And I started off low, and when I retired, I was at the top. I was working with the governor's office.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and then bonus question, who was your favorite mentee from Midnight Golf program?
Oh, God, here we go.
Why is it me?
Denzel. Denzel was so special. I never forget we was on a college tour. He's something you didn't have no money or something. I had to go to your room and give it to you. And Denzel was like my son. You know, like how Jason and Meech, Denzel fits in that category, along with Kirk. Kirk was another one that I just kind of adopted, and they so special. Especially when I went to your wedding, that right there was special. It felt like I was your mom, and I was there, and just being there, being surrounded about you, and see how excited you and Amanda, and how excited and how beautiful. And I'll never forget that you played the Golden Girls song.
Which one?
The Thank You for Being My Friend or something.
Oh, yeah. Our DJ had played that.
Oh, my God. Now that right there, it was wonderful. And again, Denzel, I just really admired everything. You listened. You took my advice. You know, you might have did what you wanted to do, but in the back of your mind, I think you kept thinking, Miss Renee gonna get me, or Miss Renee gonna do something. You know, and that was special. That was special to me, like Jason, like how I talk to Jason, how I talk to Meech. I do Meech the same way. And then when I get with Kirk, I fuss at him. Why you ain't doing this? Why you ain't doing that? Other people probably would have said, lady, don't be telling me this. But you guys, listen, y'all had a heart, and you wanted that structure. You wanted somebody you can look up to.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it.
I remember at my 60th birthday party, they gave me a surprise party, remember? And everybody came in with white, and you came in with blue, the Michigan sweatshirt. You had to be special. Everybody got on white.
I ain't get that far down in the invitation. I just knew I needed to be there for you.
And you was there. Every time I asked you to be somewhere, like next Thursday, I need you to be at the gala.
Yes, ma'am.
I always ask you, if I don't need you, I ain't going to reach out to you. But if I need you, that goes for all of Midnight Golf. If I need you, if I reach out, I need you guys to be there because I was there for y'all. And I want you to be here for me because I may not be here long. You know how old people used to say, I may not be here long, but I really want to be around my Midnight Golf family because you guys are so important in my life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for partaking in Freestyle Fridays. So
I'm sorry I ain't got no
freestyles. All right. So, Miss Renee, now I want to be able to, we talked about the future, a little bit about the past in Midnight Golf, but now I want to be able to talk about the journey overall. And so me talking to you over the years and learning about your pathway to Midnight Golf. And like you said, at first you didn't necessarily want to do it, but because you had that influence from Jason, who was already playing golf, and he like, Mom, we gotta do something about this. For you, you have a background in social work. So you have an MSW, you went to Wayne State, and and you mentioned even in high school, working for the city had got you out of your comfort zone and out of your shell. But what led you down that path to social work? Had you always wanted to do something like that to be able to help families or work with families and young people, or was it just kind of like something that you found yourself in and not something you always wanted to do?
Okay, so let's clarify. I just got a bachelor's from Wayne State University. I started on my master's and started midnight golf. That's what I was going to finish. Never got a chance to go back to that. But I believe I was working as a social worker for the state. And I did family services with child abuse. I did protective services, foster care, adoptions, payments. I did everything you can in social services because I wanted to know all programs. But I noticed it was a need that being a real social worker, finding out what is the need in that family, what was going on, why they didn't have any money, why they don't have education, why they didn't have family, what was going on with the people. So I never forget Miss Blackwell. Her husband was the mayor of Highland Park. She worked with me. She was a social worker, and she took me on her. She was like my mentor, and she took me out in the field. She said, "These are the things that you got to look for in people." And I don't think they teach people this anymore in social work. But you got to look at where they live, how they living, how do they get money? How do they buy food? It's not being nosy. Some people would say that was being nosy, but you're trying to help the family to stay strong, stay together. And so that's how I learned that rope, by being with Miss Blackwell. I remember we had a situation where a man lived in a train cart down by the Michigan train station.
Mm-hmm.
And so she took me down there. She said, "You got to get up in the cart to see how he's living." I'm like, "He's a hobo. I can't go up in his cart." She said, "You got to jump up in the cart." And I had to jump inside this train cart. And this man got all this stuff in this train cart. And I kept saying, "No, I can't do this. This is so hard." She said, "This is part of living. These are some homeless."
Yeah.
And then I had the homeless unit. I'll never forget that. I had to go under the viaducts.
Mm-hmm.
I had to count people so we can get money for the state of Michigan to help with the homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And then another situation where it really got me turned on was this little girl living by herself. She was emancipated, living by herself. And I'm like, she can't live by herself. And Miss Blackwell said, she don't have a choice. We got to go to court. We got to get the petition, get her papers so that, I want her to go to school. So I learned all those social work skills being in my job, working for the state of Michigan. Like I said, when I started, we didn't even have computers. Everything had to be done by paper. We had to make home calls. I made home calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and taking people's kids. I'm moving from one foster care to another. I remember this one young lady, she was in midnight golf. She said, "Miss Renee, I want to start a campaign of giving luggage." Foster care kids at that time had plastic bags. They did not have luggage. So we started a campaign, even in midnight golf, raising, having people donate luggage. And I don't know why some people gave they trash. And these kids already having a hard way to go. Don't give them nothing that's used. Give them something that they can hold and appreciate.
Exactly.
So that's how I learned how to be what I do for midnight golf is through the state of Michigan.
And so also I'm wondering, because I'm curious, I know that the household that Jason had grew up in, it was a multi-generational household.
Yes.
So it was yourself, your mom, and then was your grandma there and your aunt?
My aunt was there. And that house, I think you've been to that house.
Yep.
You come to the house. That house we lived in, we would have Sunday dinners.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday around 5 o'clock, we have so many people at that house eating. And I would see how she cared about people. Everybody took a package home. And I do the same thing now. When you come to my house, I'm going to make you a package.
Yep.
Everybody took food home. We got together every Sunday. And that's the truth. When somebody died, that's over everything. It never be the same. We never stopped. I tried to continue those dinners, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. But being in that household, she was always a giving. My mom was giving. My mother would give you her last. But learning those skills from my family and from the state kind of put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my friends work for the state of Michigan told me, girl, when you retire, you crazy. Why would you want to go set up something?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, because I got to help people. We got to help each other. If I was you, I wouldn't do it. Now when I see them, it's like, I'm so excited. I had one lady call me and said, I am so excited what you're doing. Can you send me a jacket? Oh, but you weren't excited when I was trying to start it.
Yeah.
Now you want me to send you a jacket.
Yeah.
So, people come and they go, and people come in your life for a reason and for a season. And that is so true that my goal is, and I want people to remember how I gave, how I'm a giving person, and how I'll give you my last. And you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I got, I'll give it to you. If I got it and I know that you need it, I will give it to you.
Mm-hmm. Even quick story, even when I was grown and I had got my first apartment by myself, all I did was tell you like, hey, Mr. Renee, I just got my new apartment. I stopped by Midnight Golf. I'm just visiting. So like, what you doing? And then you was like, what you doing tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't know, working, whatever. You was like, when you done work, come with me to Kohl's. We about, you love Kohl's.
Yep.
And you like, come on, we gonna get you
And I
together.
remember giving you furniture from my house.
Yep.
I gave you furniture. And then when you bought a house,
mm-hmm.
when you bought your first house.
The first thing I had in there was the TV that you gave me.
Yep.
And that was the first thing.
Yep. I sure did.
I had a folding chair and that TV. And that was the first thing that I had in there.
But I always, like I said, you're like Jason's brother and Meech and Kirk. Y'all like, and there's so many more, and including Winston.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Winston the same way because, he'll look at me and say, Miss Renee, you think we should do it? And I think about, and Winston is learning like me. Winston is another caring. Winston will get out there and he do whatever he can to help
tell
the
people
young
what Winston do for Midnight Golf real quick.
Winston is our college engagement director. So he's involved in trying to help kids establish relationships with the colleges, with the presidents and the vice presidents.
And Winston is one of the best in the business.
Yes, he is. And Winston, he's just like y'all. They'll call, do you think I should do this? One thing about it, I think you guys listen. Y'all listen and you know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I wish in my day I had a Miss Renee. Mm-hmm. If I had a Miss Renee, you couldn't tell me.
It's got to be the limit.
It's about to be the limit. It's like today we're doing our scholarship, the Miss Renee scholarships. And all I had to do is make phone calls. And they're here.
Mm-hmm.
The alums are here reading the scholarships. They're fussing. They complaining. The kids ain't like, we were Miss Renee. No, they're not going to be like y'all. The next generation is not going to be like y'all. But we got to show them and teach them. We want you to have some kind of caring. You got to care. All they care about is their cell phones. That's all they care about is cell phones and being on the computer. And we got to care about people.
Yeah. Speaking about caring about people, you had mentioned when you had started Midnight Golf and you didn't necessarily, once you realized this was something that you was going to do, you had mentioned like you worked 3 jobs to be able to get this thing off of the ground. And I know you really tapped into your network because some of those same people that started with you back then are still involved with the program in some way, shape, or form now. So take me back to that time, like it's around 2000, 2001, and like you hustling to do this thing. Like what was those other jobs that you was working and what was that grind like?
So I worked for the state full time, but I was a consultant for Kenneth Cole Neckwear. Kenneth Cole had at that time ties and shirts. And I was a consultant where I had to travel like to Ohio, California, New York. And I made good money doing that. And they always gave me free ties. I remember Jason had a trunk full of ties because he had to wear a tie to U of D. So I got ties and I developed relationships. And then they started giving me ties for Midnight Golf folks. Then I also did income taxes. So I worked for H&R Block. So from December up until April, I did taxes. So I did all of that. Started Midnight Golf. I was at Franklin Wright Settlement. And at that time, the first time we had 17 students. And we had to have food. So the people that would come and speak, I would say, can you bring food? Can you stop at the Chinese store? Can you place the restaurant? Can you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken? So, can you bring pizza? So I never forget, Delbert Gray said, I'm coming to speak, but you're going to have me to bring the food. Yes, I don't have no money. But I had to beg and borrow, and I borrowed money off of my 401k. And then my dear friend Barb's family gave me the money to start the 501c3 And then they turned around and gave me $50,000 to do the Miss Renee Scholarship. That's how all that got started, with the scholarship. And then when I retired, told people, don't give me no retirement gift. Take all that money and give it to the Miss Renee Scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that got started. And again, still begging, asking people, can you help me? I need money. And that's how all that got started, with the Miss Renee Scholarship and going begging people for money.
Mm-hmm. I remember when you, around the time that you were about to get ready to retire from the state, because I remember you came into Midnight Golf when I was in the program, and I would think I was in your tea time group, and you sat down, you were so mad some lady at work had pissed you off because she was like a mean girl or something, or you knew she ain't like you, but she was trying to play like she did, and she like offered you some birthday cake or something. You're like, I don't want none of your cake. Like you were just going off, but I could tell you had been talking about retirement, but I knew like at that point you probably already knew this part of my chapter is done. Part of my life is done, and I gotta move forward with this program.
Because there was so many jealous women, not the men. And I never forget, my boss at that time was a man, and he always told me they didn't like what I was doing. They went to him and complained about it, saying they didn't like what I was doing. And he was explaining what she doing, saving families, the same families we working with. She just going out doing more with these families, because a lot of the families at that time were on aid.
Mm-hmm.
And they would I would come to work in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, because I'd be at work at 8. They'd be in a corner talking about me, and I can hear it. And I'd be thinking, okay. And then I put on my computer, I'll never forget, I put 59 days at that time. It tell me every day when I got to sit down at my desk, I got 58 more days, 57. And then the day I left, I'll never forget, HR person was Marvell. And she came to me, and it was the end. I left at noon. She walked me to the elevator, took my badge, and she said, the state is losing one great person that they'll never replace. Till today, they never replaced my job.
Mm-hmm.
But unless I'm not with the mean girls no more.
Yeah.
And I always said, I'm not going to work in a place where people are always in a corner talking and they being mean. I'm not doing that. I'm never doing that. If that ever happened at Midnight Golf, I'll shut it down. Because we're not here to talk about people. We are here to do the work.
Right. And then, so talk to us about what those early years of Midnight Golf was like. So you got that first cohort, you figuring it all out. What was the program like then? Versus
remember, when I first started Midnight Golf, the very, very first one, I was a one-man team.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have Mr. Gamblin and none of these people, John Ambrose. I was by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Ron Lockett and applied for a grant with the city of Detroit. And Ron knew my background from the state. And he said, you know what? I'm going to trust you. I'm going to give you this grant for $5,000. And so started developing those relationships, getting out here. I think that's what really helped me, talking to people. Again, we didn't have anything. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have an office. I had to work out of my home. I worked upstairs out of my house. I didn't have nothing. It was just me and Midnight Golf and all my kids.
And how did you start getting people to help along the way? Because it's some people that, like I said, saw the vision from beginning, but then obviously along the way, you got to get people to buy in. So how did you get people to help?
I invited them to come see what we did. I said, just come see it. Just come see it. Come to Franklin Wright. Nobody wanted to go on the east side. They thought that was a bad part of town. I said, just come. We got security. Just come see. Monique's staff was the mentors. Because I didn't have nobody to volunteer. This is way before, like I said, Dave or John got on board. So Monique's staff came and they helped us. When we didn't go on a college tour. We went up north as our trip. But the best part was when the PGA of America flew 17 kids to West Palm Beach. They paid for everything. Then I think people started looking at, PGA is involved. And that was hard. I had to go to the Michigan PGA section, and I went in there, and the guy thought I was crazy. I said, I need some help. I want to start a golf program. There's no black kids learning how to play golf. And he said, come back to me in the next few months. I said, no, I'm not coming back to you in the next few months. I need your help now. He said, okay, come back in a week or so. I'm going to see what I can do. So the guy I met who works out of the PGA of America was an African-American guy. And he said, I'm going to help you. So I went back to Ken Devine and said, can you help me? I need some money. And he said, I said, plus you ain't got no black people on your wall. And he kind of like that feistiness in me when I was walking and talking. Man, I came back, he gave me a check for $5,000. And that's how that relationship started with PGA along with the Ryder Cup come, because they wanted to do something different in Detroit. And when the Ryder Cup came, it was supposed to be here doing 9/11, and they had to postpone it. But the year after that, they did the Ryder Cup. And that's how Midnight Golf started getting exposure, was through the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. And over the years, you've gotten so many accolades, been a part of boards and very important discussions in terms of youth and the city and so many different accolades. But knowing you personally, I know I don't feel like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't feel like those things move and like motivate you. So I want to know from your words, what is the thing that's still driving you today, 25 years later? Because you could have just did it just to appease Jason back in the day, do a one and done or do a couple of times and then move on with your life. Because like you said, you already had your life planned out before you dove into this. But what's keeping you going? What's your motivation?
Midnight Golf family, the students, the alums, the current students. That gives me that drive. It gives me happiness, excitement. It just makes me more want to get that grit. Like, I got to be here. It's something I got to do, and I want to do it, and I want to help them. You know, like the college trip, we had 35 kids could not afford to pay $500. I went and got all my friends, come on, I need your help. I need you to help support these young people. I don't think if they had a Miss Renee, them 35 kids wouldn't have went. But it's that grit, that excitement that I want to do it. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something. And when I looked at the preview of the video they're going to have at that gala, I was on the golf course playing golf last night. When I saw that, I just broke out. And you know how me, I'm always crying. But to see what they said, they came back, they said, I remember, they said the kids from Detroit ain't going to be nobody. And look at them now. When you see the young people, what they have done, and they always give it back, seeing the mentors at Midnight Golf. If it wasn't for the mentors at Midnight Golf, I wouldn't be where I'm at. That's what makes me excited and continue to do this work.
And you talked about the college, I'm about to butcher the name, the college road trip for success, or
the road trip for success.
Road trip for success. So could you talk about why that is so monumental and important to the program? Because me being in the program and then also being a mentor for a year in the program, that's where you start to see the turning point in the student. So it's like you go along with the programming throughout the year, the school year, but then once you go on that road trip and you come back, it's a completely different experience.
When you get on that road trip, like that first day we leave on that Sunday, everybody's excited, families come, everybody's excited. Kind of calm on the bus that first night, real calm. But in the middle of that trip, like that Wednesday, everybody started coming out, they singing, they laughing. But that last night, that Thursday night after that dinner, each bus have a theme. And so when the kids come back from the dinner that night, they get and take the mic and they talk about what this trip did for them. Why is it so exciting about being in Midnight Golf? Or I don't have no mom, or I live by myself. All this heart. I mean, everybody's crying on the bus. Like, it's so heartfelt. You just get so excited and you care and you're thinking, they really get it now. It takes that trip to make them get what Midnight Golf is about. And sometimes I'm thinking, maybe that trip should be earlier because I know that's hard, but that trip should be not in March. Maybe it should be when we come back from Christmas break.
Because they'll still be on break.
We still on break, and it's just that trip just put it all together. That makes the family, is that trip. And I feel for the young people who didn't go on that trip because they didn't experience. You got an opportunity to do it twice. Some people now just only get a chance to do it once. But the caring and the clothing, we had a young man who didn't have a suit. Our mentors went out on the college tour this year, went and bought the young man a suit so he could go to the dinner. Now, how is that? Where you going to find that kind of relationship and people that care?
Yeah.
But they got to see the lead is caring. You going to care. Miss Renee, we're going to take care of him. They came back. He had shoes. He had a tie. He had a shirt. He had a brand new suit. And they bought him a piece of luggage because he was too proud not to say, I need a piece of luggage before we went.
Yeah.
But just to see the mentors getting out here, the male mentors wrap their arms around this young man. And he stood up there that night and he walked and he said, how do I look, Miss Renee? How do I look? I said, you look fabulous. You look handsome. You know, he just wants somebody to keep saying how he looked. But just to see our mentors, those males, just and Clover and Kayla, how they all just jumped in and took him. Where you gonna see that at? So if anybody else would have said, well, too bad, he ain't got no suit.
Right.
But they know how I felt. I kept saying, he got to get a suit, y'all. I got to get this boy a suit. And that's the beauty of Midnight Golf, how other people can come in and believe in what you believe in and follow your footsteps and want to help people.
Yeah, and you get a chance to know the students so much better during that time because you spend an entire week with them. Y'all playing golf, like 18 rounds of golf. Like this ain't no putt-putt. Like you actually
this ain't no putt-putt. You got to play.
Putt-putt.
But the other thing, this year, out of 20-some years, we've been doing this college tour. I've never had mentees, which was last year I had male mentees. This year I didn't have them because Devon kept saying, Devon is another one of my sons too. Devon is so special to me. But he said, Miss Renee, we're giving you a break. We're not going to let you have no kids. So I had all of them. Everybody on my bus was my mentee. So usually in that last one night, you go to dinner with your mentor. And I kept saying, oh, I ain't got no kids to go to dinner with. So all the mentors had, it was like 5 or 6 of them got together and took their kids. They said, come with us, Miss Renee. So I went to dinner with them. But just to sit back and see, I didn't have no mentees. You always buy your mentees gifts.
Yep.
I couldn't buy, I didn't have no gifts to buy. Like, what am I going to do? So I went and helped Brenda to help buy her kids stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was trying to help other mentors that didn't know what to do. I knew what to do.
Yeah.
And another person who's been with me since day one is Miss Denise.
My girl.
Miss Denise been here before anybody. I'll never forget, I would go to church on Sundays, and Reverend Doolin would say, Renee, I need you, because he was our chairman. And he said, you want to do this? I believe in what you're doing. I'm right behind you. So he would get up the 2nd and the 5th Sunday of each month and get up and raise money for us. And I would get up there and tell stories. And Denise said, all you do is get up there and cry about you needed money. But Denise been there since the beginning. And I came up with that idea.
And when the road trip is done, pretty much the students, they're getting ready to prepare for graduation, and then they're off to the races pretty much. But part of what college, career, and beyond is about, that piece of it is making sure, and I know that over the years you all became way more intentional about that in supporting the students post-graduation, because when I was in the program, it was more informal. So like you would come up to, it was a group of us at Michigan. You would come up, we'd go out for lunch or dinner, and then we'd hang out and you would check in on us. And then other mentors would do stuff here and there. You'll go up to state, you'll go out of state. But now it's more of an intentional piece to it where you have someone like a Winston who is ensuring like there's a process to making sure that you keep up with these students from the alumni perspective and then being able to support them past the program. So could you talk about that a little bit more?
So Kayla Valentine is over the coaches. We call them college coaches for success.
Yep.
And what they do, 3 of the coaches work with the high schools, making sure they got their essays, making sure what college you're going to, doing one-on-ones. And then you got Regine and Dia, who's over the colleges and universities and making sure the students is doing everything they're supposed to do. They are the traveling, going to the schools. They give these little collegiate parties. We have collegiate midnight golf in the colleges now. So they're doing that. And so they go in there to make sure everything is, turning out okay. But that's so important because remember, college, career, beyond. Now they're getting ready to come out of college. Their careers, we're working with them trying to make sure they're going to get a job somewhere. And beyond, when they get married, like for you, when you got married and came to your wedding, it goes way beyond the midnight golf. Now, like Alondra and Alicia and all of them, the triplets, they married, they got kids, but I'm still a part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Alondra just opened up her new business
Mm-hmm.
for mental health. I'm still a part of her life, helping her creating what she needs for her building. How long have y'all been out of the program? Like 20-some years, right?
Don't say it like that.
But I'm still helping because that's why we go way beyond. But the coaches and Winston, matter of fact, next month, Winston and myself is going to Delaware State. We're going to Norfolk State, and we're going to TSU. All of these are graduations. The presidents are asking us to sit down with them. That's how important that midnight golf is to some of these universities.
Yeah.
So it's way more than what you guys, when you started being in the program. And it's going to get even bigger. I believe it's going to get bigger. I believe we're going to have, we had a talk with General Motors. They want to bring in some people. They want to bring in I didn't know they even hired doctors and social workers. I said, what do they need that at GM? When they explained that to me, they said, oh yeah, we need doctors to work here at GM. We need social workers. But how they want to work with our young people and how they can figure out engineers, where they can place them and give them these jobs, that's amazing.
Yeah.
They reached out to us and want to do it. So we just had that big conversation on Friday. So going to pull Winston in and we're going to get all that done.
Yeah. So what's in your crystal ball for Miss Renee moving forward, for college career beyond midnight golf? What's on the horizon that you can tell us about?
After the gala, I'm going to really start thinking about what Miss Renee going to do. If I'm going to stay here, if I'm going to retire, if I'm going to stick around, if I'm going to move out of Michigan. I really love Charleston. I've been looking at a lot of stuff in Charleston. So I don't know if I'm going there. I don't know. I know I want to play more golf. But I don't know. I don't know what's in store for me right now. I'm still figuring it out. In a minute, it'll be all clear. It'll all come to me exactly what Miss Renee wanted to do. It was a journey. It was a journey, believe me. Because once I said I retired from the state of Michigan, that was going to be it. But to continue on for next 25 years when I did this, I didn't never figure I would be here 25 years. That 25 years came by so fast.
I bet, yeah.
It came by really fast.
Because I've almost been out of the program for 20.
I know.
Yeah.
So 25 years. And they keep saying, we want to get this program so it can last for the next 25 years. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be totally different, but... And we got to change things. We have to change things with our programming. We got to do some changing. If we don't change... we're going to be so behind. We got to change in midnight golf. Got to change things and how we do things.
Yeah, because so I got a chance to speak with the students this week to both cohorts. And you just noticed I was talking to them about AI. And so from my understanding, this is the first time they had an in-depth session with AI. They all use it, but they don't necessarily know the power behind it or what it can really do. And so those are things you got to prepare for moving forward. And things are going to change. The way that they're going to learn is changing.
Yes.
College applications, colleges, they're going to have to change. And then, of course, that directly impact the program. So, yeah, what you're saying makes total sense.
It's got to change. If we don't change, it's just going to go right by us. We have to change. And if I said we got to change, and it's my program that I founded, if I say we got to change, we got to change. We got to change a lot of stuff. We got technology, we got PR. Alyssa can't work by herself. She got to have a team. Where are we going to get the money? We got to come up with some ideas. We got to come up and start. Jason getting out here. Jason has brought so many people to that gala, business people, and donate money. So now he got to stop focusing on the gala soon and start focusing on how we going to get this money to come to Midnight Golf. Where it ain't going to come from grants. It's got to come from foundations and families and from our alums.
Yeah.
It's got to come from within also. But things got to change. We did a scholarship today. We was reading the Miss Renee scholarships. The writing is so bad. My committee is so upset. They are very upset about these scholarships. I don't understand how parents don't sit there one-on-one or get somebody to sit with that student and see what they're doing. It says in the application to write a 1-page. Why would you submit a half a page?
Mm-hmm.
Why you don't do spell checking? Why you call it midnight gold? I mean, those things. And then AI.
Mm-hmm.
The AI took a lot. I mean, everything was overall. You know when they do an AI, everybody's paper at the end says
It's the
overall.
same thing, yeah.
Overall? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
We got to change. We got to start writing essays earlier. We can't wait till March and start writing. This has got to change. We do need the soft skills. We need the life skills. We do need all those. But we also got to change the
It's some hard skills you got to incorporate also.
Got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah, because I think I was talking to somebody, I can't remember who, but it was a young person, and they were telling me that they were in 8th grade. I did a career day for Joy Preparatory Academy, and he was telling me he learned how to write in cursive. I'm like, y'all still writing in cursive? And he was like, yeah, it was an option like when I was younger, so I decided to take it. Very smart young man, but they don't do that now. Yeah.
And I told somebody when they was getting the being sponsored to go to college, so here's a thank you card. Write the card and sign your name. I don't know how to sign. You in the 12th grade, you don't know how to. No, we don't know how to sign our names. They print their names. And I felt bad because I sent out 35 thank you cards. But how do people think about me? You know, they're looking at me too, like you a leader and you letting this crap go out. You know, we're leaders, and they looking at us and looking at them essays. That reflects on me. That reflects on you, because there's no way those essays should look like that. And you scrabble on the application part and you write out. That's unacceptable. You can't do that in the real world. I don't even know why the schools let young people do stuff like this. And if we let them, we shouldn't let them do it either. Yeah. It's terrible. If you go upstairs now, you just shake your head like those applications. And I got 160 applications. I should have got 200. I got 162.
And like it's tough. Education, like the landscape that these young people got to deal with, like it's getting tougher. And for me, it was tough because of environmental circumstances, family dynamics, stuff like that. So you include that, and that doesn't necessarily go away, but then you add the changing of society and technology and governmental and all these things that these kids had to do. These are, I believe, these kids were in school at a pivotal time during the pandemic. Right. Like all these things came
into place. And, you know, like my committee was saying, all they got to do is tell something about themselves. Tell the story. Yeah. They writing in the story, oh, I learned how to do thank you cards. I know how to do BMI. I learned how to, okay, you learned that, but how did you learn it? Or tell me an instance like I had Thanksgiving dinner and I used those skills that I got in Midnight Golf. They didn't say it like that. Yeah. You didn't tell the story. And that's all what that essay is about. Is like I'm telling you my story. Yeah. You know, I grew up in a single parent household and me and my sister, but we made it. We made it. We went to college and look what happened to us. But that's not clicking in their heads. Something is missing. I don't know what it is. Something is missing. And I hope I could be able to find out before I leave Midnight Golf, but it's just, I don't know. We give out so much money for scholarships. We had some people who said they're not doing scholarships because the essays were in AI. We can't lose those people. Yeah. Because they need the money to go to Howard and Spelman and all these schools.
Especially if you're going out of state.
Right. So I don't know. I'm going to do the best I can. What I got and how I can do it, I'm going to do it.
For sure. Yeah. And so what encouraging words would you give to somebody who is thinking of doing something similar in terms of starting a nonprofit, starting a business, whatever the case may be? What encouraging words would you give to them to actually make it happen?
Grit, motivated, sacrifice, have money. Don't depend on you're going to get grants and you're going to live big and you're going to go out and buy these big fancy cars, because it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It won't happen the first year, second year. I think we started getting money in 2008. Midnight Golf's budget. I remember we started, I was looking at some old taxes for $800. $80,000. We thought that was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
But you got to be motivated. And I could have gave up.
Mm-hmm.
I could have gave up and said, oh, no, I ain't doing this. But I fought so hard. I mean, I worked till 3 o'clock in the morning and had to get up and go to work at 8 o'clock. You got to have that motivation. You got to have like, I want it. I really want it. You got to have the passion. You don't have it, it'll be there for a second, but then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that motivate. You got to be motivated. You got to be caring. You got to be a caring person. You got to want to care for people. If you don't care, it ain't going to work.
Mm-hmm. And you've had, at this point, so 2 full careers, because you've been at golf for 25 years. How long were you with the state?
35.
So 35, 25. So that's what, a 60-year career?
Right. Because I started Midnight Golf, my last few years with the state of Michigan. And I never forget, I went to my boss. He was the director at that time before he retired from the state of Michigan. And I said, Jerome, I want to do this. He was just like Pastor Doolin. Do it. Let's do it. I think this would really help. And he was the one that came up with the word road trip for success. He said, you don't want to call it a college tour. Everybody got a college tour.
Yeah.
But you want to show the kids this is what happens when they go on a job. You know, you working and you can play golf, you having dinner, you may go into historical places to see stuff, but you want to show them more than just college tour. You want to do more. And that's where the word road trip for success came from, Jerome.
And you've been able to do more all this time. So amazing career so far. And then before I get into my spiel and talk about my perspective of Midnight Golf, remind the people where can they want to donate, they want to come to the gala, where can they find tickets, where can they get in contact with you all, how can they find you?
So the 25th anniversary gala is going to be at the downtown Hudson, where the old Hudson building used to be, and it's beautiful. We have that whole entire floor. You go up the escalators. That downtown Hudson donated the space for us. They believe in what we were doing. Rocket Classic is our title sponsor. General Motors just came on board, and they are donating the money for our students. It costs $4,000 for the student to be in the Midnight Golf program, so they helping us with that. But they can donate. Go online, www under collegecareerbeyond.org. And it's a space that said purchase tickets. As of last night, we sold out of tickets. We have 450 people coming. But I think they're going to open up the single tickets by Monday because they're trying to create some more spaces.
Okay.
This event is going to be fantastic. We're going to have valet parking. Like you said, David Allen Greer is going to be there. David Allen Greer is from Michigan. He was so excited about coming doing this. Carolyn Clifford is going to introduce him. And, you know, Carolyn's been on TV for a long time, and she believes in our program, and she wants to help. But they can donate, and we still have sponsorship packages still available that they can buy. Perfect.
And make sure that y'all tap into that. And so now I'm going to give my perspective of a Midnight Golf student and being in the program and then coming back, being a mentor, being involved with the program. And first, I'm going to just say thank you. I'm going to start with a simple thank you because Midnight Golf has been very pivotal to my life and my career and being able to change the trajectory. And as where I was a very young and determined man, obviously growing up in a single parent household with the support of my grandmother and my older sister, being a young Black boy, you know, that obviously comes with its own challenges. And so I don't think I would necessarily had the proper guidance and focus that I would have needed necessary if I didn't get a chance to see a lot of things once I got into the Midnight Golf program. So like I knew I wanted to go to the University of Michigan since I was like 6 years old, but being able to have a mentor in the program at that time, Mr. Chris Stropshire, who worked at the University of Michigan, who was an alumni from there and was a Black man, and like him being able to take me under his wing as a mentor, being able to have people like you and Mr. Gamlin to be able to rely on, having Jason as like a big brother to always be able to go and have advice, somebody who is, you know, older than me, but it also kind of like more so closer to my age and being able to have that understanding, the life lessons that I learned, things today that I know and able to do about business, like sending a thank you email or writing a thank you note, that stuff never went away from etiquette. Like I'm able to go to dinners with people who, you know, don't necessarily look like me, and you would think they would have more etiquette, but they they don't. And so that's something that I always have in my back pocket. And I get a chance to always talk to different alumni about that and how the program has been able to change for me. And then even outside of that, just being able to build a relationship with you and you always being there for me at those pivotal moments of me going throughout the different stages of life, me getting married, me getting my first place, me graduating college, being in college, all those things. It's been a huge impact on my life. And so I just wanted to thank you and, of course, give you your flowers. And then, of course, you know, I love you. So I always appreciate you and being a second mother to me as well. It's meant a whole lot for me.
Oh, I'm going to be quiet to say that. I'll never forget you and Kirk when y'all went to school. Kirk was driving that bus. Remember the bus?
Yep.
He drove the bus and he got $500 because I used to help Kirk too.
Mm-hmm.
And he got $500. He said, Miss Renee, I want to donate $500 to Midnight Golf.
Yeah.
I got this job. I want to donate $500. And I'm like, see, it pays off. What I give to you guys, y'all come back and give back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the same, like I said, Devon, you, Demetrius, I mean, where can you find a group of young men, Black young men that's out here doing it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you guys for helping me to take this journey to become a mother to you and to be a leader in the community. Thank you.
Of course. You know, I feel about you always. And whenever you need something, you know where to find me. And likewise, I know where to find you also. So we're going to land the plane here, and everybody make sure that y'all tap in with the Midnight Golf 25-year celebration. Go ahead and buy those tickets. And then the links will be in my show description. So you can go ahead and donate to the program and being able to follow the journey of Miss Renee and the program moving forward. So everybody watching and listening, we appreciate y'all. We're going to tap in with y'all soon. Peace.